don't ever want you to give up on us. Never give up on us. I know we ain't looking too good right now, but that's going to change. What is a black man and a black woman who ain't able to stand and say, I am? I know what I've been, but I know what I'm going to be. Don't you let nobody convince you that our case is over. According to the Drug Enforcement Agency of the United States government, according to the DEA, Ritalin is classified in the same category as cocaine and opium.
Listen.
Don't believe me. I want you to go to the library. Get on the internet tonight. Do the research. It's a Schedule II drug, which means it's just as addictive as cocaine and opium. This ain't me. This is the government.
Uh-oh.
Did you know Ritalin was only one molecule away from crack?
Yep.
But then again, most of you didn't even know that table sugar was one molecule away from crack. Did you not know that table sugar was once classified as an addictive substance in the United States? Do your research. It destroys the central nervous system. Table sugar. Detox your son off of table sugar, caffeine, which is another killer, and high fructose corn syrup. It takes about 90 days for caffeine, sugar, and high fructose corn syrup to be thoroughly eliminated from your child's system. So that means you go home tonight after Dr. Umar's lecture and you throw out everything in the cabinet that has caffeine in it, sugar, or high fructose corn syrup. Give that boy 90 days clean. Now, at first, the behavior is going to get worse. Why is the behavior going to get worse? Because he's an addict. And when you deprive an addict of the substance, they go through withdrawal. So you parents have to be resilient enough to withstand the withdrawal. But once he thoroughly detoxes off table sugar, that boy will be okay. But you know why most of you cannot detox your children from sugar? Because you're addicted to the sugar. You're addicted to the caffeine. You can't go without your Breyers and your Pepsi and your Little Debbie cakes. Dunkin' Donuts. So because you still have to be addicted to drugs, you allow your child to remain addicted with you. It's a family affair. I'm not telling you not to send your child to college. I'm telling you, you better have a damn good reason for why you do it. Because the only thing you're guaranteed to get from college now is debt into the banks. Some of you are sending some of the laziest black boys ever created to college. Taking out a mortgage loan on your house so Raheem could go to Minnesota State University.
Listen.
But if you could barely get Raheem up for 8 o'clock class in high school, what makes you think you're going to get himself up for 8 o'clock class when he's 3 hours away from home? See, if you're raising a black boy, your number one responsibility is to do what? Teach him discipline. And what is Dr. Umar's definition of discipline? It is the ability to teach the black boy to do what needs to be done at the precise moment it got to be done, whether he likes it or not. That means he got to be able to turn off LeBron James because he got to test them all. I'm getting sick and tired of hearing y'all call me up talking about what's wrong with the current generation. What's wrong with my son? What's wrong with my daughter? Do you know what my answer is? You are. Stop trying to blame somebody else for the way Raheem and Rashida turned out. Every child is a product of the family system that birthed and raised them. Stop running away from your responsibility. That some of your children show up without the least bit of discipline whatsoever. Some of you parents Parents, don't put your child in preschool or daycare, which is fine if you're going to homeschool them, but you don't even do that. And the first time Raheem is expected to sit still for 5 minutes is at the age of 5 in kindergarten, with a teacher who can care less that it ain't his fault. So I need you parents to do a little bit better job of that pre-academic experience. Because I'm getting sick and tired of seeing little black kids whose only expertise is in reciting Lil Wayne's raps and dancing their latest dance. And black mothers, it's not easy trying to raise a boy on yourself, on your own. And I don't fault none of you. I commend you for the good job that y'all done through this time. But some of y'all got to do a little bit better.
Absolutely. Amen.
Some of you are doing an excellent job with your daughter. Rashida is straight A's and B's. Rashida is a cheerleader. Rashida got a scholarship. Rashida is honor roll. Rashida got an after-school job. And look at her twin brother, Rashid. Don't go to school. Tattoos all on his neck. Straight gangster thug. But that's my baby. And one of the hypocrisies that my sisters got to deal with is what? Some of you are raising your sons to be the exact type of man you would never want to marry your damn self. Am I wrong? You want a man who's responsible, but look how you raising Rashid, irresponsible. You want a man who's a provider, but look how you raising Rashid. He can't provide for nobody. Look at what you're doing. By not teaching that boy discipline, you are about to destroy somebody's daughter's life. And then when he grows up not to be anything, you say, well, he's just like his father. Father been in jail his whole life. No, he's just like his mother who made him. I don't blame the mothers for Rashid but being the way he is. I blame all the brothers and sat around watching her struggle with that boy from day one, and then get off your behind and lift a hand to help that mother out. Those are our responsibility. The men are supposed to raise the boys. And in African culture, all the boys are your sons. So whether you ain't got a biological or not, you got a whole community of boys that are your responsibility to caretake. So it ain't the mother who's messing up, it's the brothers who's messing up.
Okay.
When we talk about being loyal to our women, because I want our visitors to understand it. Some of them are going to say, well, Dr. Umar, what's wrong with interracial marriage? Are you a racist?
Uh-oh.
I am not a racist to our visitors. My problem with interracial marriage is that black women are the least likely to get married in this country.
Yeah.
Say it again.
They have a 25% marriage rate and one of the highest divorce rates. So when I see a black man entertaining a woman of another culture, I have nothing against that woman of the other culture. I wouldn't want to disrespect her any more than I would want my two daughters to be disrespected, but because I love my black women.
Okay.
I must question his behavior.
Oh.
Because who you marry tells me what people you are loyal to.
Oh. Minneapolis, stand up. Minneapolis, stand up. Oh, Minneapolis. That's a bad one. Oh.
If she was good enough for you in slavery, why she ain't good enough for you now? If she was good enough for you in the civil rights movement, why she ain't good enough for you now? She was good enough for you in black power, so why she ain't good enough for you now? Y'all not in the schools when I have my sessions on relationships with our teenage girls. And they say, Dr. Umar, why after y'all go to college, y'all don't come back for us? You ain't there. I got to answer that. I'm the one who see the girls cry that our men don't think we beautiful anymore. I ain't talking about grown women. I'm talking about little girls. I don't want to have to look my daughters in the face when they looking for a husband and can't find one. Because you don't see beauty in blackness anymore. It ain't about hating nobody else. It's about loving our own.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Right.
You got to be unapologetically African all the time.
Right.
Be unapologetically African at work. Be unapologetically African at church. Be unapologetically African in the street. Let the world know. Yes. That the good Lord didn't make this earth just for everybody else, for us to watch.
That's right.
We was here first. And I'll be damned if I'm going to stand by and let everybody tell me that I got to wait till I die to get heaven. I want it now. I want it during my life. 85% of us are dying from diet-related diseases. So we have to teach our children how to grow their own crops. You can no longer trust the whole food markets because they run in the scam. Half the stuff that's stamped organic is not organic at all. Half the stuff stamped all natural is not all natural at all. How in the hell can you have 25-pound seedless watermelons that are organic? Seedless apples, the apple bigger than your car wheel, organic.
Frankenfruit.
You are only guaranteed good food if you grow it yourself. So we want to teach our children how to do it. In order for your child to graduate from FDMG, he and she has to grow at least 6 vegetables and 6 fruit. Not in the farm, not in the yard, but inside your house. You can make a garden of your spare room. Did you know that?
Yes.
The next science is going to be political and military science.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah. What do I mean by that? By military science, we're going to teach our children survival skills. If you don't have drinkable water, how do you make some? If you don't have lighters, how do you start a fire so you can cook some food for the family?
Yeah.
If you ever have to defend your mother or your little sister, what do you have to do in order to be able to do that? Other coaches teach their children responsible handling of weaponry, and we should do the same thing. Because running around with a cross, trying to defeat white supremacy with a cross, when it's a cop with a Glock 9 in your face. Not violence, brothers and sisters, but responsible self-defense. And then with political science, we're going to teach them how to understand the world they live in. See, we do a good job about teaching them history and ancient history and Nile Valley culture in Egypt and Kemet and Nubia and Timbuktu. I love it, but that's not enough. I also want them to know why the FBI was formed. To destroy black male leadership. I want them to know why AIDS is the #1 killer of black women on the face of the earth, 38 to 58, to eliminate our numbers and depopulate us off the planet.
Right.
I want them to understand why Africa is the richest continent minerally, but the poorest wealth-wise. Because of the International Monetary Fund and World Bank that keeps Africa backwards and destitute. Why is half of all black men unemployed? Why do black women have the highest infant mortality and stillborn rate in the country? Black women been having babies before everybody else on the planet. And now all of a sudden yours is coming out dead. Remember there was a time where you couldn't go to the hospital to have your babies, black woman. You had to have them at home. We had our own midwives and we had our own birthing doctors and we had our own doulas. It's time for us to go back to that. Black women, y'all need to go to midwifery school. Learn how to be a doula. Learn how to birth those babies. Do you know how much money you can make birthing babies and giving back to the community by doing it the right way? The hospital ain't the place for you to be bringing God into this world. Say it again.
Say it again, bro. Man.
See, when I go to Africa and it's time for a black woman to have a baby, she don't lay on no table. You want to look sexy while you having a baby. So they pump that epidural in your spine, black woman, and that epidural goes into your baby's bloodstream, and now his heart is racing, and now they got to do a C-section. Because they're afraid the baby about to prematurely terminate with a stroke or heart attack in utero. Because you want to have a baby vertically. Gravity works vertically, not horizontally. So when I'm home in Africa and it's time for a woman to have a baby, there's a birthing chamber. And all the elder women come in there because it's a spiritual thing to bring a new life in. And so they make her squat down the same way you squat when you use the bathroom, and they use gravity to pull that baby out. No epidural, no C-section. Go back to your culture. Go back to your culture. Stop thinking everything the Western world got for you is better.
That's right.
Some of y'all wonder why they can stand on the corner and shoot to kill and have no regret. It's because you can't show love if you never had love. And do I need to talk about the incidents of child molestation in the black community? I got to do counseling with them little girls. Mama's boyfriend under her skirt. Daddy's girlfriend under his. Because it ain't just men who do this. They come in all shapes, sizes, and ages. So I'm imploring all of you tonight, watch who you leave your children with. You can't leave them with nobody no more. Remember when we was growing up, your mom could drop you off with your auntie, your uncle, you ain't had to worry about nothing. Not no more. Most kids aren't molested by adults anymore. They're molested by other kids. You go over your sister's house to watch TV. You send your children upstairs to play with their cousins. You can't do that because you don't know what their cousins been exposed to. Their parents been letting them watch certain things and listen to certain things and overhear adult conversations. And now when your daughter goes upstairs, he wants to experiment. And he don't even recognize that what he's doing is a crime. Which is why if it was up to me, there would be no televisions in your house. We don't need them. In fact, throw out the cell phones, throw out the video games, because they ain't nothing but time wasters. See, before there was video games, you used to read. Before there was TVs, you used to read. And remember we talked about that verbal IQ test? If our kids would only read a book a month that was nonfiction, in addition to what schools gave them, most of them would have the working vocabulary necessary to score high on these tests. Every parent is a homeschooling parent. I don't care what school your child go to. You cannot leave it up to the school to do it all by themselves. And your daughters too. They're going to learn how to roll up their sleeves and change a flat tire. Because y'all sisters know that some of these men been destroyed by their mothers, so they don't change tires no more. He'll bring you to jack, but he ain't doing no jacking up. Some of these men don't even take out the trash no more. And ladies, don't you scream too loud. Some of y'all think that is something disrespectful to prepare a meal for your family. Do you know that food is one of the most spiritual activities in our culture? And that back home an African woman don't even let people come in her kitchen? That's her church. Because the body is the temple of God and what you put in it must be godly. See, this whole thing is about letting other people tell us that their culture is better than ours. Everybody has a right to practice their own. I have no problem with the European practicing European culture. I have no problem with the Asians practicing Asian culture. I have no problem with the Arab or the East Indian or the Native American practicing their culture, but you're going to let me do me because I was doing mine before you was ever born. And then we're going to teach your children the science of the black man and science of the black woman. That means every black boy has to study the black woman as a divine science. Her menstrual cycle is 28 days. Why? And why does the moon go through a 28-day cycle? And what is her relationship with water? And why was the black woman the first symbol ever used for God on earth? 2 million years before we called God he, God was a she everywhere on this planet. Because see, some of y'all forgot about this, but you know in African culture, we don't believe in angels. We believe in ancestors. See, there's no little naked boy with wings on his back looking over nobody in here. But I tell you who's looking out for you, great-great-grandma, great-great-grandpa. See, in our cosmology, everybody in your ancestral chain who once walked this earth continues to walk with you. They are the power that we need to be calling on. We out here calling on everybody else's ancestors but our own. I don't have nothing wrong with any religion you got. They all came from our mysticism anyway. You can stay in the church, you can stay in the mosque, you can stay in the Kingdom Hall. You can go to the Buddhist temple, whatever you want to do. But we're going to teach your children the science of Kemet, and we're going to teach them the science of the Dogon, and we're going to teach them the science of Santeria and Palo and Lukumi and Ifa. We're going to teach them the science of voodoo. They're going to learn how to deal with those spiritual forces that God created and released into the universe to directly come to your aid whenever you need it.
Wait a minute, tell me again.
Now, you might be afraid of those spirits, but we not.
We are them. We are them.
But for my women, some of y'all going to be mad at me. Because I got to give y'all a disclaimer. Y'all ready? Yes. Because I know everybody hype about your daughter coming to my school, but guess what? The Frederick Douglass, the Anna Douglas and Amy Garvey RBG Academy for Black Girls will be a naughty by nature academy. Do you know what that means? That means your daughter cannot come unless she comes with her own head of hair. There will be no wig, no perm, no extension, no straightening comb, no hair color. They better come with those hats. I'm not playing. I'm going to re-Africanize these babies. Now, some of y'all looking at me like I liked you until now. But let me explain to you why, sisters, because some of y'all saying, what does my daughter hair got to do with you giving her an education? My answer is everything. Listen to me. Before I can teach her high science, before I can teach her agricultural science, I got to make sure she understands knowledge of self first. What good is a black girl who can grow crops but don't love what she sees in the mirror? I got to reconstruct the African woman's self-esteem because you have lost it. She can have locks, she can have an afro, she can have twisties. She can do whatever she wants, but it better be hers. You don't even recognize that your hair is in the spiral of spirituality. And that hair that you like processing and cooking to death was once considered to be your antenna to God. And what about our boys who go to a school where all the girls are nappy and happy? That means your son, look, he can't wait to go. He said, get him back. If your son goes to a school where all his female classmates are nappy and natural, when he graduates, guess what type of woman he gonna go find? And we're going to teach them African language from preschool. Why? It's about culture, but it's also about intelligence. What does the research tell us about kids who speak multiple languages? The research says that children who speak multiple languages are able to access a side of the brain that you normally can't access. So by teaching them another language, we're going to be raising IQ. Not the racist IQ, but the real IQ. We're going to have a holistic food academy. Some of y'all who went to the natural food thing might want to be a part of that. Teaching our kids how to eat raw, how to eat organic, how to make a delicious meal without ever turning on the oven. Oh, we're going to fix this. As I prepare to wrap this up, brothers and sisters, I don't ever want you to give up on us. Never give up on us. I know we ain't looking too good right now, but that's going to change. What is a black man and a black woman who ain't able to stand and say, I am? I know what I've been, but I know what I'm going to be. Don't you let nobody convince you that our case is over. Study history. And as a child of history, I can tell you that some of the groups in this world who most people have counted out came back to be some of the greatest of all time. Study China. 70 years ago, China got no respect. Look at them now. Study East India. 60 years ago, they got no respect. Look at them now. Brothers and sisters, what man has done, man can do, and the whole world is waiting for the redemption of the African because we are the answer.
Yes. Shay.
And stop blaming God for why you in your condition. God didn't do this, you did it. See, in African culture, we have a different conception of the universe. We don't believe that God does for us. We believe that God is inside of us. And since God is inside of me, I don't have to call on her. All I have to do is act, and she will act with me. So if you lose it, it ain't because of the Lord. It's because you have no faith that the Lord within can change the circumstances without.